Hi, I'm Al, and I'm the head metal worker here at the Guild. And what I'm working on right now is reproducing this antique enameled Delahaye badge for the Delahaye that we're restoring right now. This badge doesn't actually fit the contour of the front of the car, so we need to make a brand new one that looks old out of copper that fits the contour of the hood. So I start by cutting out the profile, and then I use a photocopy of the original badge to lay out my ink resist, to lay out my graphics. And once I've got my graphics laid out, I'll actually etch it in this ferric chloride, which is what you do if you were doing, say, circuit board making, or you were doing intaglio printmaking. Once I get enough of a depth in my etch, I'll take some little engravers or chisels and just clean up my lines, make sure I've got everything to be exactly the right sort of shape and width and depth, and then I'll be able to move on to the enameling process. Well, ferric chloride is a chemical that's used to etch copper. There's only a handful of things that do a really good job of etching copper. You can use nitric acid, but that's hard to get and extremely dangerous. Ferric chloride is less dangerous and much more often used because it's used in the printed circuit board manufacturing industry and also for printmaking. And I learned how to use ferric chloride for this back in art school anyway, so I'm comfortable with the process. But basically, ferric chloride will attack copper, and so wherever you want your graphics to remain high, you cover it up with a resist that the ferric chloride can't bite into. So in this case, I've created my graphics, and then I've masked it off on the back with a piece of tape, a little bit of paint around the edges just to protect everything, and I'll be able to put this in and let it bite for, I'll probably put it in for maybe an hour or so, checking it every 10 or 15 minutes. The next step I have with this piece is to form the shape to the curve of the hood. This isn't exactly quite right for our hood, and because enamel is actually ground glass that's melted in there, if I try to bend this, it'll just shatter. So I'm going to make this fit the hood just perfectly and then clean it up with a chisel and maybe push some of the low spots down with a repoussé punch just to get a nice low area to fill with the enamel. And enamel is, again, essentially pigmented ground glass. So once everything is ready, I'll make sure it's all scrupulously clean, and I will take the glass enamel powder and mix it up with a little bit of water, and take a little brush and apply one color all over the areas I want that one color. And then I'll put it into a red hot kiln, and I'll watch it and I'll let it melt and get nice and smooth and even. Take it out, let it cool off, clean everything again, and then I'll do my second color, probably the blue. I'll take a brush and I'll have my ground glass powder mixed with a little bit of water just so that it can be applied almost like paint, and I'll charge the areas that I want the blue until they're filled up as high as I want them, and then go through the baking process again. And I'll keep adding the enamel until I get exactly what I want. Once I have that, I can again clean it back up. I can then polish up the metal that's exposed, and we will nickel plate that metal so it'll come out silver with a background of colored enamel. And then I'll have a replacement Delahaye badge for the front of the car.